Maybe you saw this game in a YouTube video, or maybe in the Roblox front page. But you're here because you want a beginner's guide on how to play the strongest battlegrounds. In this video I will be going over the very basics of how the mechanics work, some tips and tricks, and I will be making a series where I show every character and show you how to play them. First, let's go over all the inputs you have. You have a left click, which is your attack. You can do a total of 4 attacks before your attack combo ends. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The last hit will always throw the opponent away, and the first 3 will stun them and do damage. If you miss the last hit, you will be stunned for a short time, so the enemy can attack you and punish you for whiffing. Now there is 2 variations of the basic attacks. If you attack 3 times, jump and attack a 4th time, you will do a down slam. This will put the enemy onto the ground, right in front of you, instead of throwing them away like this. The other variation is an uppercut. You can do this by holding space while attacking and you will do an uppercut. What this does, it throws your opponent on top of you. How you can use them specifically, I will be going over later with the specific characters which even can hit opponents in these states. Now I will be going more over the movement side. With F you can block, which means if an enemy attacks you from the front, you can block their attacks. If the attack comes from behind, you will still be hit and will be stunned. When pressing Q and standing still, you will be doing a front dash. The last part can hit an enemy and start your combo. By the way, when the top part of his health is red, it means that he's stunned and he cannot do anything. So if you wait too long, he can do something. This front dash also works while pressing W. And you also have 2 other variations. The side dash, you do this by either pressing A or D and pressing Q. This has a shorter cooldown and is not on the same cooldown as your front dash, so you can do both of them, but your front dash has a longer cooldown afterwards. The other kind of dash you have is your back dash. You have a good amount of iframes, meaning that you can't be attacked by most things, and it's good for running away. Now let's go over what makes every character different from each other. We have the strongest hero, Hero Hunter, Destructive Cyborg, Deadly Ninja, Brutal Demon, Blade Master, Wild Psychic, and Martial Artist. Now the most obvious things is of course the 4 moves they have in the bottom and if they have a weapon or not. But there's also smaller things that differentiate them. For example, Brutal Demon has a way slower M1, meaning M1 is mouse 1 attack, compared to Hero Hunter or Martial Artist. Martial Artist, for example, has the quickest M1 in the entire game. What also differentiates them is that every character has a different passive ability. The strongest hero gets his ultimate way faster than the others. Hero Hunter heals when doing a finisher with a move, meaning that if the move kills him, he heals a tiny amount of health. Destructive Cyborg gets all his abilities reset if he does a finisher. And when he's in ult, his first and second ability will be reset when he does a kill with a move. Deadly Ninja gets 3 special dodges. Brutal Demon gains ult bar by taking damage. Blade Master's blade will be inflamed, which deals more M1 damage, meaning the attacks. This holds for about 15 seconds, I think. Wild Psychic will get a shield when finishing someone, which can block an attack from any side once, and if there's a projectile incoming, it will be bounced away. When you will be hit, it will do a small explosion, throwing the enemies away, meaning that you basically cannot be hit by most things. And Martial Artist currently doesn't have a passive ability as far as I'm concerned, because he's still in early access. Now, you've probably seen people do combos like these. But now the question is, how do you even get away from this? What is the counter to being attacked by an opponent? There is a mechanic called the Ragdoll cancel. You can do this by pressing Q while being ragdolled, meaning you're on the ground. Like this. So you cannot move and you're also not technically stunned, but this is called a ragdoll. When pressing Q you can stand up and get away from a combo. Although this has a very long cooldown of 30 seconds, and as far as I'm concerned, it only comes back while you're standing and not ragdoll. So if a combo is very long and it keeps you on the ground for too long, you will not get it back while still in the combo. That means you have to be very careful when using it. This is how the Ragdoll cancel and how it looks. The last thing I will be showing before going over tips and tricks is the ultimates of the characters and how they work. Once you fill up your bar by doing enough damage, you can use your ultimate. This will provide you with a new moveset and normally also a duration of the ultimate. Saitama is a special case and he can only use one move during his ultimate and he can have it as long as he wants. The downside is that he doesn't regenerate health while in his ultimate form. Meaning that if I use my move once, as you can see, my ultimate mode is gone. Now I only have the basic moves, until I fill this bar back up by doing damage. Hero Hunter or Garu, for example, looks very different and also works very different with his ultimate. Normally there's music, I don't know why there isn't right now. And as you can see, there is a certain time where you are in your ultimate, you move quicker so people can't run away as easily. And you have 4 moves that also go on cooldown like any other moves will. Now there is one special exception with a few characters, meaning that some moves have such a large cooldown that you can only use them once. For example, Final Hunt. As you can see, the cooldown is so large it doesn't even begin to go down. But as you can see, this one singular move did a lot of damage, all the way from 100% to 31% compared to any other moves. This is immense damage. Now I will be going over some tips. You may find the problem that it's hard to start attacking people because they block. Now, your most obvious choice is your front dash. But as you can see, this can easily be blocked and you get stunned when you hit the block. That means the enemy can easily counterattack you. Now, there are 2 choices on what you can do. As you have pretty much free mobility with your front dash, you can try and go behind the enemy. Although this will sometimes throw them away if you turn too much. So this is a risky option. What you will also see players do sometimes is drag out the front dash or just go right beside them. That means even though it's very close, you can still hit them. But say you're in this situation and you want to attack them. Your front dash will not work because you go too far and turn too much and they will be thrown away. Now, your best option is the side dash. As you can see, you can easily go behind them with some training. You may find it hard at first to side dash at them and it will probably not work most of the time. But with more training and some muscle memory, you can easily dash behind them and attack them freely. At this point, it's really just training and experience over time. Meaning that if you play enough, you really just know how much to turn your mouse to perfectly go behind them at any distance. For example, this was not it. I had to wait out a bit longer because he was further away. And you also kind of have to know what is the maximum distance, as when you're too far away like this and you try it, you will just hit their block and they can easily attack you. Meaning that this is about the sweet spot of perfect distance to go behind them. Another thing you might hear is M1 trading, meaning mouse 1 trading, so attack trading. Now basically what this means is if an enemy is attacking, you block them and attack right afterwards. This is trading. You can often do this by going towards them, blocking their attack and counter-attacking. Now this will also take some practice, as some characters attack quicker and some attack slower, meaning Brutal Demon will be pretty easy to one trade and a martial artist will be very difficult as the timing doesn't work like that. So the best thing you can do is just find out the timing by playing yourself and just knowing which characters are easy to trade with and which are not. This tip is a bit more advanced and you will only use this in later fights, but it's good to know that some other people do it, and just so you know for later. When an enemy is blocking and you don't have your side dash ready, or you think you're going to hit them but they block it in the last second, something you can do is attack once or twice so they can't counter-attack, dash behind them and attack them. As you can see, they have to have pretty good reaction time to counter-attack you or block the attack. Meaning that if you master it, it's basically impossible to defend against you. And then you can start your combo as usual. Another tip is if you miss your side dash into an opponent and they block it, you can easily just regroup by backdashing. Meaning you will get enough distance so the enemy can't just side dash you. As you can see, there's still some distance between me and the enemy, and you have time to rethink and just back up a little bit to take some time. This is also something you will see a lot. In this game there is a ton of toxicity from the people. People will call you runner and noob, say that the fight was easy even though they lost, and just have basically a mental breakdown. You will also see a lot of people say block spammer and just spammer in general, but of course this doesn't really make sense. For example, how could you possibly spam your moves? They are on a cooldown. Now, what they probably mean is when you most of the time play Destructive Cyborg, Deadly Ninja and Wild Psychic. These are like the top 3 most hated characters just because they have a more passive playstyle compared to the others. As you want to rely on your cooldowns, meaning you attack, you retreat and you attack again when you have your cooldowns back. These characters allow it because they are very mobile and can attack from a distance which most of the characters cannot do. And when you encounter toxicity, it's best to just ignore it. Most of the people are not the most intelligent in this game, and they will just be mad at anything and try to rage bait, meaning just to make you angry for their sake. Something you will also probably encounter once in a while is someone that just doesn't stop coming back to you after a fight, even if you lost or if they won. Now, the best thing you can do is probably just leave. It's very stupid to just run back, and it's also very annoying. Of course, if you just want to destroy them even more, you can stay and you know you can win, but it can get very, very frustrating if you don't win against them. And there is no point, because most of the people are no-lifers, meaning they will just run back to you for hours upon hours. So just leave, join another server and try again. Now, something you might also hear sometimes are something called attack. This is using the mechanics of the character to its fullest. Most of them only work against non-NPC players, or basically just real players. For example, for Saitama, there is a lot of shove text, meaning his third move. Now, why this doesn't work against NPCs is because it's a bit of ping reliant. They need a tiny amount of lag. This person right here should be a good target to try it on, as they have a tiny amount of lag and it should work well. As you can see, he couldn't dodge away after my shove. How it worked is, after attacking 2 times, I used my shove, pressed attack once more, and then I dashed into him and could attack him freely once more. I will try to do it again so you can see it on him. So 1, 2, shove, attack and dash forward. Something you can also do while near a tree or the wall is, after your forfeit track, pressing Q so you can do a wall combo. This is a way for easy damage and should be used basically at any point and it doesn't use a move, and it's really just free damage. Something also really important is that you always want to use free attacks and then your move to get the maximum amount of damage. You might think that your moves are the high damage dealers, but your M1s also deal a lot of damage. As you can see, you just dealt 10% of the opponent's health with just 3 attacks. There are some exceptions with some specific things. I will show one. For example, consecutive punches. When you use consecutive punches, the amount of attacks you did beforehand are saved. Meaning that if you attack 3 times, use your consecutive punches and attack once more, the opponent is thrown away. Now, why wouldn't you want to do that? A combo that most players use when the opponent still has the Ragdoll cancel, meaning they can still stand up once from the ground, is consecutive punches and normal punch. So what you would want to do is 2 punches, the consecutive punches, punch 1 more, and normal punch. This is because normal punch is slower than an attack, meaning your M1. So the opponent can either parry it if they have it, dodge out, or attack you back. And of course you really don't want this to happen, as it's very unnecessary. Meaning that if you attack 3 times, use your consecutive punches. As you can see, there was a small space where he had white health, and if you delay it too much, he can attack you back or parry your attack. There are currently 2 parries in the game. Depending on how you want to look at it, there are 4. I will show you all of them and explain them in a tiny bit. Hero Hunter's fourth move, Praise Peril, is a parry, meaning that if an opponent attacks you after using this move, you can do a counter attack. The same goes for Blade Master, but his works in a different way, meaning that if you parry the opponent, he doesn't get flung away, and you can still attack him further. Now, why I meant that there were 2 parries, and depending on how you look at it, 4. There are 2 parries in 2 different ultimates. First is Saitama, and you might think, why would I want a parry as it's hard to hit and a wasted ultimate move? But to make up for there being basically one less move compared to the others is that they both are a one-shot. I will quickly explain how Saitama's parry works. If you use it, you have about 10 seconds where if the opponent attacks you, you will do your death counter. You will see that it's active by these symbols here, and you will get back your normal moveset. If he hits you while it's active, you turn back behind him, and you do an insta-kill move, no matter what. Now, this parry is special because it can parry basically anything in the game. Not everything. For example, the damage from Ultimate Awakenings like Garu, Destructive Cyborg, Deadly Ninja, Brutal Demon, Blade Master, etc. cannot be parried at all. But if you compare it to Hero Hunter and Blade Master, the only moves that can be parried are most of the times close combat moves and only very little ultimate moves. So this parry is a big upgrade. The other parry is in the ultimate of Brutal Demon. This parry can be used in 2 ways. If you miss the parry, you will make an attack. I will show this afterwards, but first I will show the parry itself if you hit it. As you can see, it's very dramatic and of course extremely strong as it's one of your ultimate moves. This counter can of course also counter a lot of enemy moves, although it has to be used close to them, not like the death counter from Saitama, where it basically has almost infinite range. Now, if you miss the death blow, you will also still do an attack that does about half of the damage from the opponent's health. Talking about infinite range, Martial Artist also has a move that has literally infinite range, being his Vanishing Kick. How it works: you first rush the opponent, he gets thrown away, and if you use it again, you will do an attack like this. You could be all the way over there, the dummy could be all the way over here, and if you hit him once and use it in a short span of time, of course this would only be possible by teleporting, but sadly I don't really have any friends, so you would go from all the way over there to all the way over here in the same time it takes to go from here to here, meaning that there is a set amount of time that the second follow-up has to go. Meaning that from this large distance you will basically teleport, and from a very short distance it will almost look like you're not even moving at all. For example, if I hit him here, come close to him, as you can see it looked like I was almost in slow motion, and the longer the distance is, the more it looks like you're teleporting. A funny trick that you can also do that doesn't really have any use is if you use Vanishing Kick, you reset yourself and you use it again, you still do the move even though you are dead. So if this ever happens to you, don't be confused, they just reset themselves. I feel like these are the most important things about the movesets and the mechanics of the game. If you think I miss anything, don't hesitate to put it in the comments and correct me. And I hope this video helped you out with your journey of Battleground games.